Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of NAUI Talk. Let's start with today's topic. In today's topic, we're going to be talking about basically continuing education. So there we go. So Con Ed, continuing education, is a huge thing for NAUI. Everybody knows that. But what exactly does that mean for you? So today we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the profit from returning students in education. How does it all come together? How does it connect for you? So after the session today, what you'll be able to do is make that connection. Returning students, continuing education, profits. Not just that, how can you apply it? Again, in this series, it's an international series. I try very hard to have topics that'll work for everybody around the planet. And also the three very distinct avenues we have: independent instructors, affiliates, and professional educators. So let's look at that today. And as always, I expect you to read the screen. I usually don't. If I do, there's a clue. So let's continue and see how we can find profitability and increase students with this concept. To do so, what we're going to do is divide it into 4 categories using your resource. What's the resource? Your database. Expanding educational opportunities. What exactly can you offer people? What are some ideas that might help you? Profit, that important word. Some people don't like to use that word, but I do. If you don't make money, you're not going to be here next year. So my job is to help you, to help yourself, to make money. And ways you can implement, calls to action now. How can you start something today? So without further ado, let's talk about the first one, your resources. What are our resources? As a good NAUI instructor, you've got student records. Go through your students. That is the most incredible resource you can have. Trust. It's not written on the screen. It's a better word. Trust. They have trust in you. You know what they're capable of. You're the one who taught them their beginner course or whatever that last course was. Big deal here. You know they can pay the bill. You've already had them in a class. They've demonstrated their willingness to learn, their willingness to accomplish the tasks and assignments as required, their ability to do so, because willingness and ability may not always be connected. Diving may not be for everybody, hard to believe. And equally important, they've demonstrated the will and fulfillment of paying you for your services. Wow, if that's not a qualified lead for a course, what is? Somebody who's already sent you money, already followed your instructions, already followed through. Wow. That's the biggest resource you have. For so many, they teach and release. Yep, I taught you your basic course, off you go, right? I do a lot of things when I'm teaching. And I introduce little bits and pieces and go, oh, but you'd learn about that in your advanced course. Oh, some of you may end up going into side mount. For instance, I like to tell people to put their hands together right here, stop them from waving. I guarantee I'm not the only one on the call that tells people that. Some of us have different phrases for how we want them to do. But keep your hands together. Keep them together. Don't be, you know why. But little things I'd every now and then go, boy, especially if you side mounting, it's really nice to have your lollipops sitting here on your left and right arm. They go, huh? Oh, lollipops are the gauges. If you take side mount, you'll know. That little seed can sometimes germinate down the road. I know there's at least a few people online today that I've taught side mount to, and they know exactly what I'm talking about there. So there's lots of little things you can plant seeds and promote the fact you've got courses. Some people say, well, I'm not a really good salesperson. And yeah, Bill, you probably sell really well and this and that. And that's not always the truth. We're all salespeople. If both you and your friend both want to go out for lunch, one of you would like to go to a pizza place and another person would like to go to a tapas place, well, how do you convince the other person? Well, that's a basic sale when it gets down to it, okay? So We all have that ability. Find what works for you. And we've talked about that in some of the other sessions. So when we're with our students, plant the seeds of other courses, plant the seeds of skill builders. We talked about that other ones. Not all courses are physical courses. They, as far as a NAUI course, it could be a skill building session that people come out to enhance the skills. Show me how many, if any, open water students that you've taught that knew everything about open water by the time they're done. That's virtually non-existent. They know a lot, they've accomplished a lot, there's a lot of great skills and techniques they've acquired, but they could always learn more. We can go back and do skill builders to build the skills for any of the stuff that we did in an open water course, or any other course for that matter, okay? It's not that they're not good at it, it's you can go back and make it better. People have that desire. People want to learn. Society, all societies have been built on that for many, many millennia. People want to learn, they want to develop their skill sets, they want to enhance their knowledge because they enjoy doing it. Who doesn't like to read a book? Some people don't, but the majority do. Those that don't, who doesn't like to watch a video? Many do. So there's lots of ways people are already out there learning. Give them a reason to learn. There's one thing in particular is if that students had that already active participating course with you, you've got the bond, you've got the trust, you know their skill sets, you know where to point them, where they're going. I've had people who want to learn to dive and basically just want to have guided experiences from there onward. Great. They are not a candidate for continued education as far as formal courses, but they're certainly a candidate for skill building and other practical sessions. I've had people that want to learn to scuba dive who want to become a commercial diver or an instructor, or somebody who wants to be able to get out and do a little exploring and they need to be at least an advanced diver. So listen to your students, see what their desires are. I start night one asking, hey, what brought you here? And I guarantee I'm not the only one. Make notes. Make notes. You may not remember everything. I know I don't. Oh boy, I don't. But at the same token, I make a lot of notes. I call it my MyPad. I have a MyPad right here. People say, what's a MyPad? It's a pad of paper and a pencil. It's my pad. I write on it. I make notes. And as you make notes for those students, you can see what options might be better for them. It's a great resource. You probably have inquiries that people call you. You may have other records on site, but your student records are your number one asset for continuing education. They've already proven everything. Doesn't mean you don't hit the rest. Call to action. Get out your student records from this year and from last year and the year before. That's just 3 years. They should be easy. You should have them in a box right there. Mine are in a filing cabinet right over there. And all I need to do is take that filing cabinet, go through, randomly pick 3, call them and say, hey, how's your scuba going? Is there anything I can help you with? Do you want to come out to a skill builder session? While they're at the session, plant the seeds for a course. That's easy. That's not hard selling. I'm having a skill builder session on improving your finning techniques. Would you like to come? Well, the first one may say yes. The second one may say no. The third one might say no. But eventually you'll get a class of 10 people who just want to come out and improve their fin kicks. If you're a good instructor, at least a couple of them are going to take another course because they forgot how much fun they had. A few of them might go, boy, these fins I have aren't really good. I really like the ones you have, Bill. I sell more gear off my body than I do out of a store because people go, boy, I like what you have, Bill. And again, they're not in the middle of a course. They're not money out, not sure if they're going to like it. They've already finished a course. They're already enjoying what they're doing. They want to enhance what they're doing. Better odds, they want to upgrade some gear. They're our best option. Call to action. Call and get at least 3 people from each year for the last 3 years. That's 9 people that say, yeah, I'd like to come out to that. Believe it or not, that's not that hard. And education. I purposely put that because you're going to, if I say Con Ed or continuing education, hey, I know continuing education. If they're a beginner, get them on to advanced, get them on to rescue. Yep, you're right. But expanding education. This year, unfortunately, I know at least one person online today is going to go, oh, Bill, you dirty bum, look what you did. But you know, these are tough times with COVID. Where I live in Canada has been shut down more than not. And it's been very difficult to run a scuba organization. I have sold zero basic masks, zero this year. And this is mid-August. June, July, and August are our months. We don't sell it by the end of August. Those 3 months, you sell more than enough. If you don't sell enough to get through the year, you don't. I'm lucky. I work for NAUI, and my scuba club and little scuba store are a sideline, and we have a lot of fun in our club. The store is the sideline, the club's the main, and we do really wonderful. But I'll tell you what I did this year. I used to have a friend, and I used to be able to play with all their commercial full face masks and full helmets and everything else. And I dabbled with it in commercial stuff a few years back when I still had some brown hair. That was 3 weeks ago, maybe a little longer. But at the end of the day, he retired and moved. So I lost access to play with all these wonderful toys. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy myself a treat. I haven't gone to my favorite place on the planet, Curacao. Curacao is my absolute favorite place to go. In my soul, I believe I'm from there. Only in my soul. The rest of me is from Canada. But I didn't get to go to Curacao. I haven't been to Florida, our headquarters. I haven't been to a lot of places. I get to treat myself to a new full face mask. So I bought myself a nice new Guardian mask. Nice plug for Guardian. I have sold zero regular scuba masks. Zero masks. We all know what a regular mask looks like, right? On the other hand, I've sold 7 full face masks because Bill decided to buy them for 3. So there's an idea. Buy yourself something new that you don't have, and expanding education that goes around with it. Full face mask is a specialty. That's a course. Now, first of all, if you're not qualified, I guess you better get out and get qualified. If you're near me, come on by, I'll get you there. If you're not, find a guy who can, and we've got lots of wonderful NAUI professionals around the world that can get you there. So that's just one opportunity. You go, how can I do a call to action on that? You may not be able to do a call to action. It may not, full face may not be from you. Take the idea, not the words. The idea was, and I was just looking, what can I do to keep my dive masters and instructors excited this year? Because there's just not a lot going on in my area. So we got excited by getting full face masks. Oh, and by the way, 5 of us have full comms in them as well. Isn't that exciting? We had a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun. People are engaged. They're coming out, buying air, buying little goodies to go with it. Our little shop's going to survive. More importantly, equally importantly, I should say, our club is going to survive because we're having fun. We're accomplishing things. And it's not like I'm out to necessarily sell them. It's just I showed a new path that they hadn't thought about. Convert that to advanced, convert it to search and recovery, convert it to fish identification, convert it to a rescue course. Take the concept, change it into something, do a skill that leads to a course. That's expanding education. It's not always a course, but can quite often end up as a course. Me with a mask, giving a few people a try full face diving, and there's courses connected to it. There you go. That's continuing education. Or, as I purposely misworded it here, expanding education. It works. It really does. And quite often, I'm just taking them down a path they want to go anyway. If you don't keep people interested, especially right now, some of us can't travel, we're limited to 3 dive sites. But hey, we're lucky. We have 3 dive sites. And one's at my house. I live on the lake. Last year, we were limited to 1 for quite a while. How you keep it exciting? You keep it exciting by introducing new concepts, introducing new skill sets, introducing perhaps skill builders or games or other items. And that can make it really fun. And getting them out, getting them engaged, keeps them in the loop, keeps them into scuba, keeps them buying things or using things or whatever the case happens to be, whatever works for you. As a professional educator, you may have no desire to sell gear, but you do have a need to have an education platform. Otherwise, you're not a professional educator. You're just a professional wannabe educator. And that's good. I understand sometimes things are rough and how they are, but get some students, get some activities, and this can work. Which leads us to that P word, profit. Not everybody's comfortable using that word, but they should. As a professional educator, that's okay to use that word. You've got budgets, you've got bills to pay, you've got facilities in place that need to be utilized. Even if you don't pay for a facility, I've been wonderfully lucky a few times over the years where I had a program in place where facilities cost me nothing. But I'll tell you, If I'm not producing activity, you lose those facilities very quickly. They have to answer for activity at minimum. So you want to get out there. But let's talk profit here. Stores, charter boats, independent instructors, we've got bills to pay, and so do professional educators. You need to make some dollars coming through your organization. One of the great things about continuing education is gear. Some of us, on some occasions, are very lucky. We get an open water student who buys all kinds of wonderful things. That's great. Most of them buy the minimum they have to buy, their mask, snorkel, fins, maybe boots, depending where you are. And you rent a few things, and then that's wonderful. An advanced person tends to buy more stuff, adding on to their particular kit. A rescue diver, a bit more. Full face mask, well, you need a full face mask. Just using that one example. Side mount, well, you need to have side mount rigging with your gear and BCD and things that are special for that. So every course has its uniqueness. And by getting people to do continuing education, there's quite often gear sales involved. Now, you at a store absolutely get that and absolutely know the importance of that. But even an independent instructor, you may not have the ability to sell that extra gear. Well, buddy up with somebody. Again, I'm not sure where you are. There's lots of people. Well, I actually am, but there's several people online, and some of you I know exactly where you are. And if you're near, a couple of you are near me, I have it. So if you want to engage people in particular activities and sell them some gear, absolutely, I can help you with that. And I'm not the only person on the planet. There's an instructor near you. There's a store near you. There's somebody near you. Buddy up with them. You can both do well. Continuing education can lead to profits. First of all, going back to right to the beginning of today's session, that student has proven they pay their bill. They've proven they have the desire to learn, and they prove that they have the skill sets to follow through. Wow. They're more profitable than many others. So absolutely, we can get them engaged on any course or any skill building activity, whether it be a refresher, whether it be improving your finning techniques, whether it be improving your buoyancy, even somebody improving their buoyancy. Quite often you can sell them some more weights because they had the wrong configuration. And you know how many people buy the wrong weights when they first start out diving? You try to tell them that's not what you need. They insist they got to have it, right? So there's all that kind of thing. In addition, don't forget to make things profitable. If I'm looking for brand new students, brand new people, there's a cost of acquisition. You may or may not know your cost, and that's okay. It's nice to know what it costs you to get a new student, but it costs a lot of money to run advertising. It costs a lot of personal time to go out and, so to speak, shake the bushes to get more activity. You've got active people with you, encourage them to stay active. A tank of air, a little discount, a percentage off something that they're buying. Bring a friend. Oh, wait a minute, there's something. Referrals. If a person's coming to the course and they bring a friend, A, they're more likely to come to every session because they're coming together, the two of them. B, your cost isn't going to be an awful lot more just because you've taken that, right? And at the end of the day, you need to absolutely make sure that we're taking advantage of that. Now, this is a perfect time where I'm going to add in something that one of our members that are online have talked about in the resources. You are the best resource. You know the student. You know what students you're looking for. You know what you can teach. There's no sense. Again, let's just go back to my full face mask example. And Mark is talking to, was talking about us, meaning all of us, are the best resource we have. We can sell the students. I mean, if you can't teach full face, don't push full face masks. It's just a bad idea. They're going to go somewhere else. But ask, what can I do? What interests do I have? What interests do the students in my area have? What can I do to make their experience better? Then start doing it. We have some wonderful shipwrecks. And for instance, full face masks. I bought a couple of listen only devices that go with them, so we can do a guided dive and I can describe parts of the shipwreck while we're diving. Wow, there's a resource. Now that's one I have to put some money out, but you get money back too. But each student has that ability, and each instructor out here has that ability to match items that work for you. And these offerings, sky's the limit. What works in your area, whether you're in any part of the hemisphere of any part of the planet, it's the same concept. I happen to live in Canada. If you happen to live in Oman, or you happen to live in Japan, you live in Sweden, there's always a unique thing. My buddy Tommy, who's our NAUI rep in Sweden, is currently running some wonderful programs with the scientific community doing research at castles in their moats. Now, there's something unique, but they've got a big following. The media's all over it, and they're in newspapers. All this free advertising, newspaper, radio, magazines, television are all promoting NAUI and learning NAUI programs in Sweden. And if you want to participate in the castles, you got to be part of NAUI and the RISE program. Brilliant. What an opportunity. There's no castles where I live, so that's not an option, but there is where he lives. What a brilliant idea. Not a good idea, a brilliant idea. And I think that's a real big thing, is when we're looking at how to make something profitable and how to make something unique to my area and understanding what resources we have available. Don't be afraid of the handouts. Handouts don't need to be glossy. Handout could be a beautiful marketing piece with gorgeous pictures. It could just be the back of her business card. I'm a big fan. Now, I just wrote the name of a particular location people can meet at on the back of a card, but there's my scuba club. It's our club. And on the back is blank. Write something on the back. Free guided dive. Or I hate the word free. I always like to give a discount off, but that's your call. Write an opportunity. Hey, next advanced class, everybody's coming to do improve your finning techniques. And you say, hey, the next advanced class where we take this to the next level is on August the 24th. Just write it on the back of the card. I think all business cards should be blank. There's one for that isn't. I don't think that's a good idea unless it's got your whole message. Here's another one from another company. There's a parts company. They got their print, but on the back is blank. You probably already have business cards. If you don't get some, they're very inexpensive, and you could use the backs of them for so many different things. Not currently, because we haven't got any pool sessions because of COVID, but generally speaking, we do a lot of special events at our local city pools where we do photography for Easter, Christmas, or for Mother's Day, or whatever events we can do. We do a pool session. We take pictures of people, and just email me and I'll send you your pictures. And what we do is on the back of our club card, we have somebody on the shore going, okay, your name is Mary. Great, Mary. And your picture 123, 124, 125. When you get out of the pool, come get this from me. And all they do is they got my card. They go home and go, ooh, I really want those nice pictures you took. And there's no cost. We just email them their pictures. We all have cameras. It's all digital anyway. And simple as it is, they now have my card in their possession at their house, right on their desk or wherever their computer is. Or maybe they use their smartphone and it ends up in their pocket or their purse or their wallet or whatever. They never throw it out right away. They want to wait to make sure they get their pictures. At that point, it's been with them for at least a few days. At minimum, seen that for a couple of days. Wow. 4D Diving Scuba Club at Barrie, Ontario. Come join us in the adventure. Now, I'm not saying I know it all, because I certainly don't. I'm sure you have a great idea, maybe even a better idea. I'd love to hear from you. So these are there for us. And I think that profitability goes hand in hand with all this. So I put a few ideas as we go along, but let's look at how can we put all this together? What ideas? I already mentioned the first one. Go through your content, go through your student. You have to have student folders. If you don't, you better get them put together real quick, because it's a requirement, right? We all have student folders. Go through our student folders and their waivers and things and look at that and say, okay, here's people that have come in on courses. Here's people that have signed waivers to do a Discover Scuba or some scuba trying experience with us, and go through those piles. We all keep them on file. I'm not sure if there's a country in the planet where you don't have to keep them on file. Go through them and find 3 people that say yes, and each time say this is good for 2 people. Don't say one. For you and a friend. Come on out. Yep, you want to come? Great. You and a friend, come on out. There's no cost. We're going to have a improve your fitting techniques session. I'm just making that up, okay? You may have a cost thing where it's 2 for 1, or who knows, that's your special. But get one, go through the records. 2, come up with a promotion. Come up with a reason to come out, not just, hey, how's your diving? Good? Oh, you're not diving. Oh, too bad. Bye now. Click. Have something to talk about when you call them. And here's the key. Call them. Texting is not calling. Texting is texting. Texting sometimes works too, but pick up the phone. They hear your voice. They heard your voice while you were teaching. They know your voice. There's a trust. Texting is very neutral. It's just letters in contrasting colors on the screen. That's it. Your voice is you. Your personality is there. So pick up the phone. And you may say, well, I'll email. Email is a different version of letters on contrasting colors on a screen. It's just sent a different way. And I'm not saying texting and emailing doesn't work. It absolutely does. Pick up the phone and call. And if you really want to text and email, do all 3 of those. 3 activities to get 3 people from each one. Again, that almost sounds like my mini 3 marketing plan, doesn't it? Go back and watch that on YouTube again, on the NAUI TV. Things in 3s work. They just do. Come up with that special, whether it's $5 off. Come in and do a special session and get a luggage tag. I got luggage tags right here. Why am I currently handing out the Divers Alert Network ones? Because it's first aid refresher time for people. That's actually the NAUI one, but I got some NAUI ones too. Come on out and get free luggage tags. Doesn't have to be fancy. Come on out and get a bottle of anti-fog for your mask. Pick a reason to call them. I prefer not giving away things that they should be buying. A luggage tag they're not going to buy. I prefer giving them a taste of what they're missing because they haven't been out. Come on out. We're going to work on fin techniques in the pool. We're going to have some fun. No cost. Just come on out. You need air? No problem. Come on out. I just need to know what size yark you need a PC. Come on out to the pool. We're going to work on a bit of fin kicking, improve your techniques, play a few games, have some fun. At the end of the day, you should be able to get a sale out of that. Out of 10 people, somebody's going to sign up for something, right? And you don't have a lot of cost to cover outside the pool. Depending where you are, you may not be paying for the pool anyways. Be invested, take that effort. And this ties into what I already said about the phone. If you're just teaching and releasing students, get in, I get a couple of bucks and out the door you go. It's not a long-term model. It's just eventually going to run its course and you're done. Be engaged. People know that I have a passion for scuba gear. Anybody around Barrie knows Bill has a passion for scuba. Yes, I love to do traditional back mount. I love to do side mount. I like to do full face. I like all of my 7 suits that I wear for different reasons. 7 suits. I do these for different reasons. I enjoy them all. I'm not trying to lead people to buy stuff for nothing. I just have a passion for everything I get to play with on my scuba sets. And we have a good time. Be invested. That's how you do it. So what do we learn? We know there's a connection between returning students, continuing education, and profit. We know, contact previous students. There's lots of resources out there. Every time, again, go back to my mini 3 marketing. Every time I'm out anywhere, I talk and I tell people why I scuba dive and I teach diving. If I was at a parking lot yesterday diving with my good friend Gordon, and we were doing a dive, and there's a few people who want to talk. It's like, oh yeah, we dive all the time. We love it. We teach diving. We have a local club, and we have a wonderful store. If I tell enough people, somebody's going to sign up for something. And what's it take? A few minutes of my time to show somebody how excited I am about scuba. That's a resource. I always am promoting people to learn. Always. I'm involved with them. I know where they're going. I know their purpose, and I'm helping them to achieve those goals. I truly do care. This is what we learned today. Don't go out for again, I'm going to use a baseball analogy. Hopefully everybody online is familiar with how baseball works. There's several innings. Those are the sections of the game. You want to win the game, not one inning. Win the whole game. If all you're looking to win is one inning, or in this case, you would one course, it doesn't matter what you build a person for that course and what you sell them during that course. It's not a long-term model. Your long-term model is have people engaged and active and coming out and having a great time. We sell adventure. You'd almost think I put it on my club card. Oh, I do. So today we worked on all these. I've got a couple of things I just want you to work on. This is some calls to action. Read it. This is just some ideas. You need to come up with something you can do today, something you're going to do in a week, and something you're going to do next month. If not, you won't be any further ahead next month than you are now. If every week you're going to do something, every time you see a seminar or a workshop, come away and do something within a day, something else within a week, and have something you want to plan in a month. And you'll always have a marketing plan in place. And a lot of times these could be very little, if any, money. It's just you being active. It's very important. And we just need to work on this. Don't forget, everything's on NAUI TV. We're a little behind on getting them up, but they're all going to be up within the day. So you've got all these ideas. My favorite one's the Mini 3 marketing. People sometimes just think that you need to have thousands of dollars. And I equate it to savings. People go, boy, I'll never save this much money. Well, you're right, because when do you have that much money with you? But if you save a little every day, or all right, just every day, we have dollars, Canadian dollars. So, if I put $1 aside a day, at the end of every week, I have $7. And if I do that every week of a month, well, that's $31. And if I do it for an entire year, that's $365. It adds up. Just keep going at things. And I think that's the same idea. People say, oh, I can never get this much of a marketing budget or sales budget. You're right. Where does it come from? It doesn't just come out of nowhere. It starts here and builds. If anybody has any other questions, I've tried to handle the questions and any comments as we went along. I promise everybody we try to go at least half an hour to about 45 minutes, less than an hour tops. And we want to make sure that these are ideas that you can put in place. No matter where you are on this planet, and no matter what type of scuba operation you're running, we care and we want to help you make some money. So send me in, remember at the beginning, I purposely didn't put was on in September because I wanted you guys to send me in some ideas. I'll incorporate them, I promise. And for the NAUI Sources magazine, if you've got an article, I know the editor. So here we are, the end of our session. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. Hope you had a great time. Hope you learned something. Remember, NAUI, dive education is our big thing. It's dive safety through education. We want to teach people properly and be the leaders in our dive world and have fun. So without further ado, bye for now. And thank you for joining me.